titles in Dubai, you won in Australia, you won in Spain, in Germany, in England. Is there some place that you haven't won? Like, you've been everywhere.
Well, I got to win in Brazil. I got to win Arnold. I'm going to win every Arnold Classic before
Okay, so
I
we're
retire.
going to go to Brazil in March, or in April next year?
Nah, you know what? I want to take a whole year off.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm not going to say that because I changed my mind more than a freaking...
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see. The game plan is right now, I'm going to just take some time off. I was just, reflecting a little bit about, maybe taking a year off or just doing Olympia next year, but I don't know if I can do that.
I'm wondering if at this age that you would even want to slow down.
Yeah, I know.
Because when you slow down and take your foot off the gas, someone's going to be coming up that's younger along the way.
So that's why I just said just now, wait a minute, maybe, I changed my mind so much. I love competing early in the season, in the year, and then coming back, take a few months off, and then do Olympia. That keeps me, wanting to get in the gym, keep me training hard, because I think if I take a whole year off, I might get a little lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm not guaranteed that I'm gonna do Brazil yet, but eventually I'm gonna have to do Brazil. And what other Arnold is there?
You got the one in Asia.
So that'll be very hard to do because it's only 3 weeks before the Olympics. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull that one off, but I definitely want to win Brazil and potentially win the Asian Arnold. So we'll see.
Is there anything beyond re-winning, because you've won the Olympia, is there anything beyond recapturing that title that leaves you wanting more? I mean, you've won everything.
Yeah.
The New York Pro Championships, I mean, the list is long.
I just love my job. I love doing what I'm doing. I love competing against some of the guys, or all the guys from around. Excuse me.
You just ate, by the way.
Excuse me.
We did.
But I love competing against guys from around the world. I love the competitiveness of the sport.
Yeah.
When that's gone, then it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's very hard to say you're gonna retire or put a date on when you're gonna retire, put a year on it or whatever. When you're just winning and you're just training an hour and a half a day, and you're doing the rest of your time to yourself to be able to just do whatever. You can't. And I'm only 47 years old, almost.
November.
And, in November. So, and I'm too young to just retire. I've seen my parents retire and go back to work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I know that's what's gonna happen to me. I can't just sit around. I'm gonna want to get back into business and do some type of work. So I'm like, if I'm only working an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week, and I'm still top 2 in the world, top 3 in the world, what you gonna retire for?
Well, you got your Dexter Jackson contest. Tell me about those competitions. When are they?
I got 3 DJCs. I got one in Jacksonville, Florida. Dexter Jackson class in Jacksonville, Florida. Then I have a Jack's Physique in Jacksonville, Florida. So Jack's Physique is the first one in Jacksonville. That is the first weekend in April.
Okay.
And then the DJC is my biggest. That's my baby. That's my very first one. That's usually the first weekend in August.
Right.
And then we have October.
Tennessee.
Well, we changed it this year. So now it's in July.
Okay.
In Memphis, Tennessee. So we got, that's a Dexter Jackson Memphis Classic. So you guys can go to Built by Blade. That's my new website.
Built by Blade.
Guys, go check that out. It's one of the hottest websites, probably the hottest. I don't see, when I do something, I strive to be the best at what I do. So I guarantee you enjoy my website. It's probably the best bodybuilding website out there. As you see my YouTube video channel, I put out the best videos, bar none.
And your Snapchat's pretty good too.
And my Snapchat is good. I like to go off. You want to know the real me? You want to see how I act every day? You want to see how crazy I really am? Follow me on Snapchat, Mr. Olympia 08.
So, is there any animosity with Phil Heath? I mean, I know sometimes you have to develop some type of fury against the champion to win it. Is there anything about him holding on to those 6 titles that is under your skin at all, or is this just really about you getting back what you won back in 2008 and that feeling and the superiority complex?
Well, it's Mr. Olympia title. You want to win that title, and you don't care who's holding it. At that point. I have no animosity against Phil at all. He's a good friend. He's my boy. But when we fighting for that title, all that that's my homie shit out the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're gonna be boys after the show. We competing, and you know how it is. When we compete, man, you ain't competing for no $100,000 like we used to, or like you guys used to. You competing against some serious loot now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and all the prestige that comes with it now. You know what I'm saying? And Phil's done a great job. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's time for a change.
How is it competing against Phil back when you first got there? When I was there in 99, 2000, 2001, has the landscape changed a lot back in the dressing room, on the stage, the protocol of the judges, the organization? I mean, what is the noticeable difference besides the prize money? That's obvious.
That's obvious, yeah. And I think the noticeable difference is these guys are a lot bigger than they were when you competed. You know, Kevin's 245. You know, I'm 240 at 5'6".
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, you guys got really hard back in the day, but you know, we ain't slouches. You know what I'm saying? So it would be pretty interesting. You can't compare. You can't do that. You know, you can't compare. You know, these running backs to Jim Brown. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do it at different times. So it would be interesting to see how some of our top guys would do against you top guys. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I was in both areas, so
You were all through.
Yeah, but and when I competed against you guys, I was very young.
Yeah.
You know, you was beating me one of my first 2 years. And then you ran. You were scared.
Yeah, I got scared. I got scared at 35. I got whipped out. I got scared. But you've been competing over in 3 decades like myself. You were in the 90s, from 20 to 2010,
Right.
and now we're 2010 to 2016. And there's no letting up. Potentially, you have at least another 3 good solid years, which could take you to the ripe old age of 50.
Right.
And Vince Taylor was doing the Masters at that time. Do you have a window for going after this Olympia title? Like 3 years and I'm done? 50 years old, I'm done? Anything like that?
No, because